I'm a big fan of Alexander Gustafsson for a lot of reasons, and this one was interesting primarily because he decided to go to heavyweight. That being said, to take Fabricio Werdum on in your first fight is you got cojones. I'll say that much. So without further ado, let's actually just look into the fight footage. So fight cam. All right, hold on, boom, there it is. Here. Okay, so the first thing to note here is Werdum actually shooting in and getting the high crotch, right? What's Alexander Gustafsson doing? He's pushing on the head, all right? He's using his left hand, pushing on his head, stuffing that, and I'm fairly certain, we can't see his right hand yet, but he's doing something to overhook the other arm, okay? That you want to hike the guy up and you want to bring him up back to head level. You want your heads at equal level when this happens. So the idea is that from there is then you just have to take down, so to speak, and life goes on. All right, so how does this really play? Werdum runs the pipe, okay? But here you can see it's not quite right. Okay, what's wrong with this picture though? Like, why is this not necessarily the best takedown? All right, you can see here that Gustafsson has his left leg underneath him from the far side. Werdum is literally not facing him. He is perpendicular. Their bodies are perpendicular to each other. This is probably one of the worst positions you can be if you shoot a takedown on someone. All right? Like, actually, this is comically bad. As in theory, Alexander Gustafsson has the complete advantage here, and I'm not exaggerating. In theory, like once you shoot, if you get stuffed on a takedown that bad, it's like your best bet is actually to abort. And you probably should have aborted like 4 or 5 steps ago at this point. If you're in this deep, you're committed. You got to do something, right? So the cool thing about this fight though is Werdum's reaction. So you see, he gets the lift. He sticks to it. He doesn't falter. He doesn't second guess himself, right? He gets the lift and gets Gustafsson's center of gravity right, more or less right above him. Does this guarantee the takedown? No, he's still not in a position to actually finish the takedown in any capacity. Even if he turned the corner, Gustafsson still has his crossface on him, right? You see Gustafsson's left arm? It's pushing his posture the other direction. There's not a lot of driving power for Fabricio Werdum to turn, pivot, turn the corner, take the back, do whatever you need to do in order to finish this takedown. So again, I just want to emphasize here that Alexander Gustafsson is still actually winning. He's actually just still winning in this moment. So what's the technical genius here? He leans back. Who in the right mind does that? We need to watch that without the thing messing up. All right. So big takedown. Oh my god. Runs the pipe. Right. Gustafsson sprawls a little bit, pushes back, cross faces the head, starts landing some shots. You get the big lift. Right. Gustafsson's trying to go for some sort of face crank just to get something here. He thinks he's still on top, and Fabricio Werdum just goes, "Nah, I'm gonna sit backwards. I'm gonna fall on my back." And immediately, once he gets to here, what this usually means is like you're entering well, it's guard pull territory. He pulls half guard, and again, I've already talked about a lot about pulling guard in mixed martial arts and why it's not advisable, which is why every time someone does do it, I lose my mind because it's the biggest flex you can do on anyone, right? Enough of me yammering on here. Let's see what he does with this guard pull. Boom. Okay, so right here, this position right here, all right, even with those shots to the head, all right, this is called deep half. All right, deep half is important. This is an awful position to be in mixed martial arts, but and you can clearly see he just takes like 4 shots to the head. Boom. Okay. All right. That's so huge. He pops out the back door. Okay. Okay. So in exchange for maybe 4 to 6, 7, really short hammer fists, he pops out the back door and then proceeds to just be like he's completely on his back. Big guard, half guard pull, deep half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pops out the back door. He doesn't care. All right, this is huge too, okay? If you notice here, he doesn't actually have the full waist lock. He's grabbing onto both his hips. And in this case, his left hand's actually on a little bit on his thigh, right? There's a little bit of a hip bone that you can grab somewhere, like on the hip, that you can dig your hands into a little bit. And that can also, in a scramble situation, you're very rarely are you going to be able to get to a point where you can just clasp your hands together. Sometimes you take what you can get, right? So you can I gotta get my hands in frame. If you can dig into the hips just a little bit, yeah, that's critical. That's critical. So that's what he does here, right? Like he just gets what he can take out of like an insane scramble. And honestly, if he comes out on top here, this is a huge win for him. 8 rabbit shots to the head, take the back. I'm not knocked out. I'm still conscious. Golden. Let's run with it. Right here, it's that trip. It's the fact that Gustafsson is running away and he still doesn't actually have the waist lock, but he still trips him. They're both running, both feet are off the ground. There's no there's no stability here. And he just kicks the shin out just a little bit, right? And that's not, and he's falling into it. Outside leg trip from the back. Very, very cool. And Gustafsson completely face plants and immediately Werdum's on him like white on rice or something. You know what I'm saying? Just this freeze frame right here, through all this distortion, he's jumping on him. Okay, so right here, it's not the exact, it's a little bit of a scramble position, but the one thing I want to note is that Gustafsson's positioning here is actually like not great. He fell forward. He didn't fall into a proper position. He just fell forward onto the floor. That's actually a big issue. It's because of like the fact that he's not in a proper turtle. All right. If you're in a proper turtle, usually your elbows are more tucked in. Your knees are also tucked in. You're making sure that's this whole space here, right? Like the space where in between his armpit and his hip, that's closed off completely. And because it's not, this is a grappler's wet dream. But what that means is he can get both of his back hooks in. Okay, right here, okay? So he gets the half back position, right? So that's not both hooks. He does try to go for both of them, but he ends up getting one hook in, and the other hook, he's getting hip control on the other side. If you look at his arms, he's got seatbelt control. That means one over the arm, one under the arm. And from here, he's kind of hand fighting a little bit, and Gustafsson's like, oh, God, I'm in trouble. He's not done. I wouldn't say he's done yet, but also it's like, I don't know, you got Fabricio Werdum on your back. I mean, my opinion is kind of done, but at the same time, whatever. It's okay. The point is, that's why we're here watching this. All right. Boom. All right, so right here, what is this man doing? He gives up seatbelt control. Werdum throws his right hand over the head and starts using his tricep and pushing on Gustafsson's head. Why would you give seatbelt control? You can see the position of the back control. It's completely on an angle now. He's no longer parallel. He's on a slight like 45 now. What's going on here? What is this man doing? Boom, he steps over the head. Okay, this is a very common, this is a really common way to set up the armbar from the back, right? You frame off the head, and using the figure 4 grip or the Kimura grip, depending on what you want to call it, you use that and you create an angle, and it's a very slick, easy transition, very aesthetic. You see it in local gyms all the time. It's I would actually say, if you can't get the rear naked choke if you're a beginner, but you do get the back often, this is a very good option to switch, just to like mess with your opponent. This is a good transition to practice. Boom. Oh. Boom. So what does the Gustafsson do here that was really good? Okay, see, like they landed over in this position. He almost slipped him into an armbar, but not quite. Werdum almost gets his right leg hooked over Gustafsson's head, but then Gustafsson knows, like he's not an amateur here. He knows what's going on. So what does he do? He pushes his hand in and prevents it from completely wrapping over his head and flipping him over. He used that to stack just a little bit, and that allows him to get on top. So what happens here? Boom. They end up belly down. So Werdum makes a couple of adjustments here. He does manage to get that leg over the head. Great on him. Then he uses the left leg, right? And he does sneak that in, and he goes shin under the armpit. Shin under the armpit is actually huge. Like that's almost as good as just getting your leg underneath. But in this case right now, if you go belly down, there's a chance you might have lost the armpit, like not the armpit. There's a chance you might have lost the armbar, so to speak, right? It's just from here, we enter a really interesting dead zone. Very good. Boom. All right, and you can just see we end up just pausing here for a little bit. Right, so he's just bouncing on his head. He's just chilling. So, what do you do here? Boom, he gets tilted. That tilt is everything. Once he gets the tilt, it's game over. The flip occurs. All right, this is a really precarious position to be in. Not just because it's Werdum, right? I can cheer Werdum on all I want. However, like if you look at if we're just going to freeze frame this for a second, look at Gustafsson's arms. They're not clasped. He's holding onto his glove kind. He's panicking here a little bit. And to be fair, there's a lot of reasons to be panicking. You got an ADCC champion on top of you. Werdum's he's not even controlling the lower body. He's not even worried about that. He's just grabbing the arm. All right. So Gustafsson finally clasps his hands together. Werdum almost had a chance, but he was patient. Very patient. All right, that grip is huge. The way he's breaking the grip, right? Boom. This grip break, the fact that he did it so quickly is what I want to point out here. If someone does this, right, this is actually one of the hardest grips you can deal with in terms of dealing with the armbar, right? If you see in the video, right, like the moment he sees this, there's a little bit of a space here when you do this, right above my watch here. And when he pushes on, like what he does is he uses all this grip here, all the meat right in this space here, and he pulls on it and he cranks on it, and eventually that inch is what gives him the ability to crank on that armbar, and there you go. Once he exposes the fist, that's the tap. Otherwise, yeah, that's that.